Welcome. As women in business, we're so busy being busy. We're juggling life and business, and we're in the hustle. And that's when we lose sight of who we really are. This podcast is here to inspire and empower you to unleash you, the one that's been hiding behind all the roles that you play. Weekly episodes will help you to find fun, energy, and flow in life, and also give you tips and tools so you can have a successful yet simple business. My guests and myself talk all things mindset, spirituality, relationships, and of course business. Live the life that you've been dreaming of. Now, let's get to the good part. Welcome to the Sharon Cliffe Podcast. Today's episode, I'm going to give you 6 tips to stop procrastination. Now, I'll put my hand up. I am guilty of being a procrastinator. I find that if it's something that is overwhelming, or it's something that I don't enjoy doing, or it's something that I feel is going to take away from me doing something else that I do enjoy, or it's something that is probably not my expertise, I'll procrastinate on it. Or if it's something that has a deadline that's a fair way away, and I go, I've got plenty of time, so I keep procrastinating and putting it off. If that's you, then you need to remove all distractions so that you can listen to my 6 tips to stop procrastination. So here we go. Why do we procrastinate? It's usually because we've given ourselves too much time to get the task completed. It's because it's something that we don't like and it's not fun. It also could be that we've got lots of distractions around us. Like, for instance, if I'm at home working and one of the kids comes home, I'll go and see them, or I hear my washing machine go off, I'll go and put my washing out, or my phone will ring and then I'll start walking around the house talking on the phone, or I'll think, I'll just duck out and grab that at the shops and come back. I'm procrastinating getting that task done. Another thing might be that it's just not my area of expertise, so it doesn't light me up. There's so many different reasons why we procrastinate. And these are just some of my personal reasons. And I'm sure you've got plenty more. And I'm sure you can resonate with some of the ones that I've just gone through. How do you actually stop procrastination? First thing is, we know why we do it. What we need to do is recognize it. If you're starting to do something and you start looking out the window and start daydreaming, you're procrastinating. If you pick up your phone and you start scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, you're procrastinating. If you wander around the house and go and check the letterbox and make a cup of coffee and start doing the ironing, fixing up the cushions on the couch, you're procrastinating. If you start texting your friends, you're procrastinating. If you think, I'll just go and run that errand, you're procrastinating. So what I want you to do is stop and notice when you're procrastinating. How often do you do it? Why are you doing it? What tasks or what actions are you completing or supposed to be completing when you start to procrastinate? And recognize that. So I know that if I need to sit down and write an email, I'll procrastinate because I think, I don't know what to say, don't know what to put in the subject line, and I'll procrastinate. Or it might be that I have to do a report for a client and I'll be like, this is just really tedious. It's boring. I don't want to do it. So I'll procrastinate. So just really recognizing when you're doing it and pulling yourself and go, I'm procrastinating, so I need to stop. So here's the first thing, the first tip. Break that task that you've got to do into steps. So if I know I've got to write an email, okay, so firstly, my first step would be that I need to think about who the audience is. I would need to think about what value is it that I want to share, or what tip or what information do I need to share? And then I might think about the subject line. And then I might think of what graphics I'm going to use. I might think about what kind of offer or what call to action I'm going to put into it. So if I break that down into steps, it makes the task easier. The same if you're procrastinating to write your social media content for the week. Break it down into steps. Have a look at, okay, well, how many days a week do I want to post? What type of content do I post? Do I want to do an engagement post? Do I want to do a sales post? Do I want to do a value post. What kind of post do I want to do? And then start to look at the different types of content and break it down. It could be, if you need to cook dinner, find a recipe. Do you need to go shopping? What's in the kitchen? What prep do you need to do? All that sort of thing. Break it down into steps. The second tip is prioritize when you're going to do it. So if you know that you're a morning person and you're most productive and less inclined to get distracted and get tired and lose motivation, then do those tasks in the morning. If you're more of a night owl and you find that you're most productive, most switched on and less likely to get distracted at nighttime, prioritize those tasks for nighttime. And also the tasks that you know that you keep procrastinating on, just prioritize getting them done. Get them off that list. Block it out in your calendar so you know when you're going to get it done. And don't keep putting it in your calendar and then moving it to the afternoon, then moving it to the next day, and then the next day, and the next day. And then before you know it, becomes the next week. I'm guilty of that. I've done it this week. I've moved things to tomorrow that were supposed to be done last week, that was supposed to be done yesterday, that was supposed to be done today. It's called procrastinating. The third thing on the list, third tip, remove distractions. Close your office door so the family doesn't distract you. Get all your admin and your chores and errands done before you start your day, or leave them to the afternoon, or do them at lunchtime. Put your phone on silent, put it on do not disturb, turn it off, put it in another room. Close down Outlook, close down other web browsers so that if something pops up, you're not going to get distracted and go and read an email and then start action an email. Have all those things turned off. Don't have Facebook open on your desktop. Don't have email open. Don't have notifications popping up if you need to sit there and concentrate and get a task done, because you will procrastinate. Remove any other kind of distractions and block out your calendar so that people know when you're working, you're working. If you know you're going to expect a call, get them to call you after it. Number 4, set a timer. And I know I've asked you to put your phone away, and we often use our phone as timers. Open up a timer on your web browser. Get an old-fashioned kitchen timer, an egg cooking timer, anything. Set a timer on your Apple Watch. Set a timer. So I've got one of those old-fashioned, they have, you got the sands in the hourglass and you turn upside down and the sand runs through. I've got one of those. And so if I know that I need to get this task done, and it should only really take me 15 minutes, but then it might take me a bit of extra time because I start to wonder and I need a bit of creative space, I might set a timer for 20 minutes. Or I might know that, okay, that task is going to take me 10 minutes, but I'm going to batch it. So for instance, podcast episodes. If I'm going to have my hair and makeup done and wear something that's not dressy, but, it's not a singlet top, I want to make sure I'm batching and getting that creative and getting flow with my podcast. So I'll batch. Like today, I'm doing 3 podcast episodes. It's more productive when you can set a timer and go, okay, between 11 and 12, I'm going to record podcasts, and you just keep going and recording your podcast in that time. Or it could be doing social media. Okay, I'm going to set a timer, and for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to do as many social media posts as I can. Anything like that. Set a timer so that you're giving yourself a timeline, and you know that if you are on a deadline and you think I've got 30 minutes to get this task done, I know I can do it in that time, and you do it and get it done. The 5th tip. Of course, it's got to be the 5-second rule. When you sit down and you go, I'm going to do this task now, don't start opening emails, looking out the window, looking at your phone, jumping up to see what else you can do. A lot of the time we're procrastinating because we're hesitating starting something. And it's like, in the morning when you wake up and you think, oh, I don't want to go to work, I don't want to exercise, I don't want to go to the gym, I don't want to go for that walk. But the second you get up and you start, you're not going to stop. You're not going to put your workout gear on and walk outside and then go, oh, that's it, I'm done. You're going to keep going, and you're going to do that 15-minute workout, 30-minute workout, 60-minute workout. You're not going to stop. You're going to keep going. And it's the same with this. Countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start the task. Get it done. Just do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start. You just got to start. That leaves us with tip number 6. Set a hard deadline. As I said, stop moving the task in your calendar. Stop putting it on from today's to-do list or action list to tomorrow's action list or to-do list, whatever you want to call it. Set a hard deadline and go, okay, this task has to be done by this day, or this project has to be done by this day, or this podcast needs to be recorded by then, this email needs to go out this day, and set a hard deadline. And you know what? If something is due in 2 weeks, set a deadline to do it this week, so that if something pops up, or you get sick, or something happens with your family, or something happens, you got no internet, you got no power, then that task is going to be done. And then you're not going to procrastinate over it for the next week or 2 weeks. And the thing too is, when you've got that task done, you can then move on to something else that you might have been procrastinating about. That's my tips around how to stop procrastination. Now, once you've done that and you've done some of those tasks, like you get a task done today that you've been procrastinating about, reward yourself. Go and have a Tim Tam with your coffee. Go and have a coffee at the coffee shop instead of making one yourself. Then spend, 10 minutes at the end of the day meditating, or sit on the couch watching Netflix or scrolling through social media. Do something that makes you happy. Once you've completed the task, once you've stopped procrastinating, once you've counted down your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and actually started. So to recap, of course, you want to recognize when we're procrastinating. We want to look at why. 6 tips. Number 1, break it into small steps. 2, prioritize when you're going to do it. 3, remove all distractions. Number 4, set a timer. Number 5, 5-second rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start. And number 6, build in a hard deadline. And as a little treat at the end, reward yourself. So those are my 6 tips to stop procrastination. I would love you to let me know what you tried, what you've been procrastinating on, and how you went after you've gone through these. Now, if you know someone who is a procrastinator and a serial procrastinator, share this episode with them so they can stop procrastinating. Until next week, that's it from me. Oh, before you press stop, thanks for listening to today's episode. And if you enjoyed this episode, do the 3 S's. Subscribe so you never miss an episode each Thursday. Shout out to your community so they can be inspired and empowered. And share. Share with me your aha moments and your takeaways. By doing this, it helps this podcast to inspire and impact more women globally so they can have a fulfilling life and business. I would love for you to connect with me on Instagram, the Sharon Cliffe. And if you want to know more about me or how you can work with me, head to my website, sharoncliffe.com.au. See you next time.